These kind of things again. Rolling on the floor laughing is an internet expression for when you do just that, except it's quite difficult to type whilst you're doing that, so it's hard to believe that someone writing Raffle is doing so. It's much easier, though, for them to pick a single emoji. The curvature of a face emoji itself comes into practice here as they roll on the floor laughing differently to how we would, and it also makes us have to recognize that emojis are on a floor, like the chin is on the floor. The tears are a reasonable choice, but only if you know how to place them. Apple's is spittle in the corners of its mouth. Facebook's is the best expression. The hungering face is licking about, and I read most of these as a cheeky tongue out, which is already several different emojis. So we need something food-oriented, and we need Facebook. The drooling face is more directly hungry, or thirsty. I think it's meant to be a little subconscious trickle from someone who's so distracted they've lost some of their body functions autonomy. But then Emoji Dance is using hydro pump. HTC's just got tased. The way Facebook's drool pools around it again brings up the disconcerting idea that an emoji face is a sphere sitting on a surface, but it's the only one of these that looks like it's drooling out of idle distraction rather than being in the middle of some particularly pleasing activity. I don't want this one to be the best, but its eyes are open and the drooling is probably responding to a visual stimulus, so yeah, that. The hugging face, nobody reads as a hugging face. Faces aren't for hugging unless you're that alien. All of these are wrong. All of these are in some VR game you really don't want to play. OpenMojis is buried in a sarcophagus, and only Joy Pixels put their hands the right way around to be any kind of hug, so it's them. The starstruck emoji has been struck and is seeing stars. Golden eyes do not contrast well with emoji yellow, but purple does. We need a level of shading detail that suggests cartoonishness and not actual eyes becoming actual five-pointed star shapes, because that would be a horrible experience. And Facebook did the best job. An eye roll is specifically difficult to represent in a single frame, and most of them seem to be looking worriedly or dismissively at something directly above. WhatsApp is saying, Samsung can't portray an eye roll. Twitter is saying, WhatsApp can't portray an eye roll. Facebook is saying, Twitter can't portray an eye roll. Even HTC is in a position to judge, and nobody can criticize theirs, except me, because it's shit. Facebook's is best. The cocked brow, the cynic's face, has impressively not been adopted by a reactionary group yet. Well done. Specifically WhatsApp. They call this one the persevering face, and it directly communicates what it's like to persevere, to live into adulthood, to endure ever further strain with no reward. Austerity Britain should rethink perseverance and realize that keeping calm and carrying on guarantees the kind of anguish scrunched into this little face. And Emoji Dex did it best. Speaking of anguish, really most of these just look mildly inconvenienced. They don't know true anguish. Several of them, like Joy Pixels, Samsung, Facebook, and Microsoft, have actually got less anguish over time. We can't let emoji get bowdlerized like this, or we'll lose all means of expression and become slaves to the have a nice day empire. So go with WhatsApp. Keep your mouth shut with this kind of grotesque emoji. Zips on lips. Sometimes the teeth of the zip look like teeth, like a face's teeth. Oh, that's an emoji now. The tooth itself is only interesting because of Emojipedia's doing a sneaky walk. WhatsApp. Some of the mouth zipper trails are way too short. It looks like this character with the zip open would still struggle to use their mouth at all. It's like the flies on women's jeans. So I've heard. Google's is just a metal eater with really square flesh teeth finishing off their meal with a ring pull. When you look at this emoji at all, you realize how wrong it is. I'm saying joypics. The hushed face could be a more humane means of shutting up, except it doesn't really mean that. It's just another slightly different shock thing, a milder shock, a bit closer to worry or sadness. We're really getting to the furthest extents of emotions I can discern, but I'm gonna choose this as if it were called taken aback in slight wonder but potential embarrassment and brief speechlessness, and that's best at Samsung. The shushty face is telling you to keep a secret, whether it's strong sad, a Nick Sharratt illustration, or definitely someone who doesn't deserve privacy. These Open mouths don't work, and emoji hands on faces don't work. The way the features have bunched up upwards makes it look like a low-angle shot, like the person telling you to keep a secret is domineering, and that's really not a good look. Or hey, they might just be trying to pick their non-existent noses. Most of these are creepy or just generally shoddy designs. WhatsApp can have it, but please do better. Then there's the tee-hee-hee, which can really vary, but only because Apple got it wrong and didn't have it smizing. It's a smiling eyes, and a couple of the others followed suit, with Facebook actually overwriting their more accurate version. Covering the mouth entirely can make the mouth seem like a puncture in an inflating head, but that also works for when you cover your mouth to stifle a laugh or a vocal reaction. This doesn't leave much room for the expression though, so Samsung's just looks like it's snorting something. WhatsApp. Ah look, it's each of Mixed Emoji's viewers. I see that you can read a bit of confusion in these, but they're more like unamused, which is already a thing. Which actually means Mozilla's is the... No, it can't be. It's so horrible, but the emoji is registered as confused face, and until someone else draws something more baffled, more inquisitive, Mozilla wins. The upside down face represents that moment when you put your face upside down. Be careful not to make it more of a simplified Homer Simpson seen from above. In fact, these all look wrong now. I can't work with this. No, that's better. And now I notice WhatsApp's has a kind of shimmer stubble beard. I've got to go for Apple here, but that way around. This one's confounded, which is from the same root word as confused, but it got a bit more mixed up along the way. OpenMojis doesn't know what it's doing here because it's less confounded than the others. Hence, it's more confounded than the others. This ziggle mouth never quite looks right, so it's going to Facebook. The open frown is kind of aghast. Something's gone wrong irreparably, like maybe they've seen OpenMoji's design. Samsung. This one's a special emoji because it's directly based on a classic work of art, Home Alone. We're going for superlative despondent shock, and it's undermined by these delicate gloves. I think the Apple version has wriggled into iconic icon status, and it can have this one. The nerd face sadly reinforces the stereotype that people with glasses and goofy teeth are of any value. Wait, no, I mean, are inherently pedantic and lonesome and obsessive, and where did I leave my glasses? There are enough minion memes on Facebook already. I think the two-tooth overbite, or indeed the single-tooth overbite, lends too easily to cruelty. Go for Joy Pixels because it averts that and brings in an exciting new world of emoji braces. This emoji was introduced in 2017, in the 21st century. Hey, maybe monocles are coming back. They're now quite stapled to this air of contemptuous cynicism, nearly the same thing as the thinky face. And maybe that's a bit unfair, but maybe you literally need to do this kind of eyebrow contortion to keep a monocle in. Apple. If you liked this video, I bet you can't wait for this line.